Is the Thargoid War already lost? Some people suspect just possibly. Others, meanwhile, in fiction at least, are proposing an alternative. This could turn out to be a very interesting twist, an alliance between, the Alliance and the Federation. If these two superpowers were to consolidate their resources, technology and military might, they would likely become the dominant human force in the galaxy. More on that in just a moment. Meanwhile, here's a status update on the ongoing Thargoid War. As of today, there are currently 434 star systems under Thargoid threat. This is an increase of nearly 100 star systems since the 21st of December, so the Thargoids are continuing to spread despite best player efforts, and yes, players are doing an amazing job here. A lot of player effort coming together both from individual players, solo players, and of course various player groups. It really is a pleasure to see all of this play out. I think Frontier have put together a really nice system here, something that gives a great status condition for players to get behind. And although I think they could do with a few UI improvements, overall this really is unifying players in a way that hasn't happened for a very long time. So yes, players are working together and they are consistently pushing the Thargoids out of star systems. We've now got 18 star systems in a state of post-Thargoid recovery. And there's every sign that this is indeed going to continue. The downside, of course, is that despite best player efforts, the Thargoids are outpacing players. So it seems that for now at least, there's going to continue to be more and more systems in a state of Thargoid War. There's some hints though that there may be some changes in the coming weeks and the coming months. Over the recent weeks, or the recent days in fact, the 26th of December and the 27th of December, there are two Galnet posts which hint at a potential narrative change. On the 26th of December, we've got a story from the Federation. This is from Shadow President Felicia Winters, who feels that the Federation should be align itself with independent systems. Remember, whilst this is in fiction narrative and not something players have any influence over, it's still possible, very likely in fact, that this is eventually something which will play out directly in-game. So on Galnet, Shadow President Felicia Winters outlined her feelings. She said, "The Thargoid fleets emerging from the Maelstroms have inflicted anguish and loss on millions. Our military forces have responded magnificently, and that's the Federation Navy, and continue to fight hard against appalling odds. But while they are saving lives in federal-aligned systems, independent systems are left to suffer." So she goes on to say that she feels that this can't be right, that the independent systems are the neighbour of the Federation, and that ultimately, if people are to just sit back and only think of Federation-aligned systems, the Thargoids will win out that much quicker, and ultimately, humans need to present a consolidated face to try and win out. Meanwhile, on the 27th of December, again on Galnet, Professor Tesreau has called for an anti-Xeno initiative, Aegis, to be reformed by these superpowers. So long-term players of Elite Dangerous will remember this well, and for new players, the story is that essentially a few years ago, the superpowers come together to form a military department called Aegis that was designed to face Thargoids. Of course, back then, Thargoids were nowhere near the threat that they present today, and meanwhile, in the interim, the Aegis Federation, the Aegis group, had been shut down. So yeah, they're not there now in humanity's most dire need. Professor Tesreau then feels that Aegis should be reformed, and that this should occur through a coalition with the Alliance and the Federation. He would like to see the Empire involved as well, but says, sadly, the Empire's current isolationist policy means that Aegis would necessitate a return as a dual superpower initiative. But even that would be an improvement on the fractured, uncoordinated response to current Thargoid conquests. The Galnet article went on to say that neither the Alliance or Federation had made an official response to this. Now, that's two Galnet pieces, so it seems to me that this is the direction that the game will head in eventually. That is an alliance, a coalition between the independent star systems as well as the Federation. Now, pure speculation here, and hope against hope, really hoping eventually this could lead to a new ship being introduced in the game. Yes, it's been many years at this point, 4 years, 5 years since a new ship had been introduced into Elite Dangerous, so just maybe hoping for a little bit too much there, but you never really know. Stranger things have happened. In either event, the technology available to humans, to players rather, has been changing. On the 29th of December, Galnet posts that enhanced AX multi-cannons gimbaled and enhanced AX missile racks fixed are now available on rescue ships, and you can see those on the screen right here. You may remember that a week ago or so, maybe 10 days, I incorrectly pointed out that these weapons were not available in the game as of this recording. Like a complete idiot, I'd been docked at the wrong ship. I docked at a player megaship right next door to the rescue ship. I'm going to blame the confusing state of the system map for that. But no, honestly, bit of a dopey knob there, eh? Anyway, the experimental weapons, the AX weapons, are available at the rescue ships, and there are plenty of them. These can be used in a place of Guardian weapons, so for players who haven't unlocked Guardian weapons, these are a great alternative. And again, the Guardian weapons do not work inside the Maelstrom systems. There was a little bit of confusion over that the last time I mentioned it. I previously mentioned that the Galnet article had said these AX weapons were for use inside Maelstrom systems for players who don't have them. So yes, that still stands. If you go right inside the Maelstroms, any Guardian technology will malfunction. And this has been true ever since Update 13 was introduced and Salvation's superweapon misfired and was used against humans. For now at least then, Guardian technology is okay as long as you're not inside the Maelstrom systems. And again, just for the sake of repetition there and to make sure, I really do hammer the point home, if you don't have Guardian technology, you don't have to spend hours and hours unlocking it. You can simply fly to any of the green icons on the star systems here, the rescue ships, and purchase the weapons you need. And they're not even all that expensive, so should be something for everyone there if you want to join the fight. So then, here we are at the end of the year, and it's been a very interesting year for Elite Dangerous in fiction as well as in the real world. Moving into 2023, it's likely that the Thargoid War will continue to expand and spread. No telling yet what this means for the game. Hopefully something very interesting. Meanwhile, I suspect in the short term, we're going to see far more star systems coming under Thargoid occupied control. But it's also very apparent that players are very keen on changing this state of affairs and fighting against the Thargoids, and players are putting in a massive effort there. Again, something that's very nice to see. At any rate, that's the end of this video. This will probably be the last Elite Dangerous video for this year. So, Happy New Year to everyone, and I'll catch you next time.